Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our reaction to NCIS Season 17, Episode 16, entitled Ephemera, and I'm pretty pleased with myself that I actually finally know how to maybe pronounce that correctly.
I will never know.
I still may have gotten it wrong, which by the way, I know there's a lot of people that are probably disappointed right now that Jessica and I, unfortunately, we're not playing different characters within this video. We're still playing ourselves.
So I need, like, your glasses, you got my dog mom shirt.
Yeah, there's nothing anyone would love more than you not being able to see out of my glasses and me wearing an ill-fitting shirt for the rest of the video. This, I think, it's a fun episode.
This episode was so much fun. I really enjoyed it.
I don't know if we're really going to say that anything in here matters in a week or two, but you know, sometimes it doesn't need to matter.
No, and this is NCIS, so they do love to have these episodes that are sort of just this one-off where you can just get in, enjoy it, get out, and this was a really fun mystery.
And we do have one thing that is a little bit more big picture to discuss, and that is the Tony and Ziva and DiNozzo senior mention at the start of this video, and we will do that right away. Before we dive in, though, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we're going to have a video coming up soon talking about some of the stuff we would like to see in episode 17 and beyond, because CBS, they haven't put out much info at the moment for it.
There is nothing.
Pretty much. That's the way that we're rolling with that. But anyway, let's talk about the way that they handled Tony and Ziva, because they really spent a long time in just making us wait for this. I mean, it's been over a month now since Ziva said goodbye to the team. Like, why are we just now getting to hear about what happened with the two of them?
Well, I guess it just took a little while for Senior to get himself together and get out there with them.
Yeah,
since that's who we're getting our information from.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure they could have done something in a prior episode that was like, okay, I got this text here from Tony, and
I agree. Or a text from Ziva, or something. Somebody could have contacted anybody.
I just think the reality is, I mean, there's still going to be people who are bummed out that the reunion has now taken place officially, off screen. We're not going to see it.
Nope.
I don't know. I mean, this doesn't necessarily rule out that we're, you know, potentially going to see Tony or Ziva down the road. I mean, I still believe it could happen.
I'm feeling a little less confident.
I don't know if it's going to happen this season.
I definitely don't think it's going to happen this season. I don't feel very confident that it's going to happen this season. After tonight's episode where we got this sort of mention that they're reunited and everything is going really well, I think they would have saved it. I mean, there's not a ton of episodes left this season.
Yeah, I feel like the philosophy now with Tony and Ziva is almost the philosophy we had with Ziva when we got around to maybe season 15 or so, and it started to feel like, okay, you know, Code's probably never coming back. We're probably never going to see the character again. But, you know, you still had like that what if in the back of your head that maybe, and you always just cling to that tiny, tiny bit of hope. It's probably, if you expect something more than that, then NCIS may inevitably let you down. So I think we all have to have a certain perspective at this point.
I don't think that it's could like never happen. I just feel that all the stars are gonna kind of have to align for something like that to happen. For whatever reason that it hasn't been able to happen yet, it doesn't mean that the door is closed in the future. So we may not get to see the reunion, but we may get to see them down the road where the reunion has already happened and now they're a happy family and we get to see what that life looks like.
Yeah, and this is a season of weird DiNozzo related things because it did, you know, I did expect coming into the Ziva arc that we would see Tony at some point, and the way that they kind of brought in Senior, that Senior was writing the letter, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that it was first confirmed that Robert Wagner was supposed to be returning this season, and for an episode that kind of sounded a little bit like this episode, it was never confirmed that it was this episode. So he might be turning up down the road. And I think Stephen Frank even told us at the start of the season that they kind of expected Robert Wagner to be back. So, I mean, we'll just kind of have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know for sure if this was supposed to be the episode. Maybe there'll be another episode. I would have thought that maybe he would have just come instead of handing out all these letters. But at the same time, watching Jimmy try to get a hug from everybody, Jimmy,
Yeah.
bring it in. I'm here for you.
Jimmy, okay, come on, guys. Hugging Jimmy Palmer does not seem like the worst thing in the world. I mean, maybe...
I'll take a Jimmy hug.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he smells a little bit like formaldehyde or something, but, like, other than that...
I know what that's like. I used to come home smelling like formaldehyde all the time, I still got hugs.
Yeah, and, they're used to it at this point. Jimmy's been there a long time. Jimmy, come over here. I know you're fictional, but Brian Dietzen, come over here as Jimmy, and we'll give you hugs.
Yeah, I don't mind if you smell like Mark.
Yeah, everything will be all right. But all right, well, now that we've addressed sort of the weirdness of the Ziva and Tony stuff, let's... The rest of this episode was also very weird, but kind of weird in a fun way. It's very disorienting sometimes when you see somebody play a character for 10 plus years, then all of a sudden they're playing somebody totally different. Like, what in the world is going on with McGee in all of this?
There was something really that I made a connection to because my favorite movie is The Shining. I love The Shining. So anyone else out there that has watched The Shining and then watched this episode knows exactly what I'm talking about. So this episode definitely had that same sort of feel of a little bit of reality and then this sort of fantasy that's going on in your head and mystery and you're trying to figure things out. And then the last shot is this zoom in on this old picture that's hanging in the gallery. And then you have actual Torres and Bishop in that photo, just like at the end of The Shining. And sorry, I'm spoiling those movies, like 30 years old now. That at the very end you zoom in and there's Jack in this photo, which would have been impossible for that to happen. So good nod to The Shining if that's where you guys are going. I saw what you were doing and I like it.
I have never seen The Shining. I have just admitted this. I am sure I will get like 200 comments, but wow, have you not seen it? I don't see too many movies anymore, but...
It's true, and this movie's pretty scary. I think you can handle it.
Yeah, I could probably tackle it, but I mean, this probably would have meant even more to me if I had seen The Shining, because I think you're probably right. That probably is a very obvious homage to it.
Felt like it.
Yeah, and I mean, these episodes, I think they're important for the writers because it's an opportunity for them to maybe just stretch their wings a little bit, not doing the same thing every single episode. And I mean, for the cast, it's got to be kind of cool. I mean, Wilbur Valderrama's got the mustache thing going on.
That mustache was life. And I also really liked that Gibbs in Fantasyland is still throwing things in the fire. It doesn't matter what Gibbs it is. Things are always going in the fire. I loved that.
The thing that was weird to me, I mean, maybe this is credit to Mark Harmon, but it actually took me a minute or two to realize that was Mark Harmon. I didn't realize that that I was looking at like the Earth 2 version of Gibbs in this episode.
Yep.
I think some of these actors, they actually did a good job of sort of blending in, and I liked whatever sort of nonsense McGee had going on. I just think, good on Sean Murray, who I think is just going to play the weirdos for probably the remainder of his career.
He's so great.
Yeah, I think he embodied that really well. I mean, we didn't get a ton of Maria Bello, but I think what we got was pretty fun with her.
Yep. And we did not end up getting an Alec kiss. And for the first little while before I knew this episode was coming, I really kind of thought we were going to get something. And now that the episode is here and gone...
Yeah.
I'm glad that we didn't.
I am too.
And the reason that I'm glad that we didn't is because when it happens, and I do think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I want it to happen because it's in real life and it's really happening and it's not this just like fantasy land of these two characters that aren't really them and then we're not really getting it. That it's just kind of like I don't know. I would have felt kind of like wah-wah at the end of it.
Yeah, I've seen so many other shows kind of use that device before, too. I mean, I can't remember the exact show, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a show with a very similar episode to this one, where they had the will they or won't they kiss as those characters, and, ultimately they did end up getting together later, but it was this whole, okay, so the first kiss I've seen with them is them playing other people. It didn't really feel like it had that sort of specialness. And even sometimes just watching people undercover like have a relationship and be, fake romantic, it can still take away. I'm fine to be patient. I like that they didn't do that here. It would have felt like they were just doing what a lot of other shows have done before.
Yeah, and I mean, they have gone undercover, and we have seen that that kiss. It wasn't the same sort of like crazy passionate kiss that, like, it still feels that it is going to be there with the passion that we're waiting for. And I think if we had gotten it tonight with these two other characters that were passionately in love, that would have been the kiss. And
yeah, we don't need that to be the kiss.
I don't want it to be the kiss.
We're still going to have opportunities to see the two of them together, hopefully. And I think what they did was enough of a nod to the fact that there are a lot of Bishop and Torres shippers out there. So it wasn't like they forgot about them, but they didn't necessarily do anything to take away from these two characters. Now, I mean, do you wish that there was more of an alternate universe Slibs going on?
No, I thought that was actually really fun that they had her be his sister and that it wasn't that going on. No, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I like how they used a lot of people. I even like that they made, I like that they made Casey a cop because it was sort of like, okay, we're going to make her the total opposite of who she is in the lab on the show. I mean, there's not that much to talk about when it comes to the mystery itself. It's sort of like, okay, as it turns out, this becomes a murder case. They're figuring out the origins of the coin.
Yep.
They get justice for Annie. I will say this, for an episode that's really, really weird, having the ultimate, like, final reveal be, hey, we got this guy Snot, like, that is really...
Yeah, and even more so, I was kind of surprised, like, they've got this big bouquet of flowers right beside him that he knows he's allergic to, that there wasn't a lot more, like, can you get this out of here? I'm gonna throw it on the floor. I'm allergic. Like, a lot more push against having these flowers here.
Yeah, I think they were too busy having fun coming up with alternate universe characters that you could have maybe pumped in like the flower pheromones or something in there.
Yes.
And had that work. But yeah, I mean, nitpicking an episode like this, it that part of it was a little bit weird. I mean, they probably could have gotten even more humor out of it if they'd really wanted to, but it was fun for what it was.
I thought it was really fun. I love that they were following sort of this thread of of love letters and stuff like that. I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. And it's going to at least be a nice way to sort of end off on NCIS for the next couple weeks as we gear up for, insert sigh here, yet another hiatus. We gotta wait for a while. Hopefully the show will tackle some more sort of loose ends. We have at least one more event episode coming later this season in number 400, and maybe we'll talk about that more in the preview. But now, let's hear from you guys. What did you think about NCIS Season 17, Episode 16? Did you like how they played around with some stuff? Share in the comments, and if you did like this video, just subscribe to the channel. You can give this video a like, and also if you want to support us, just check that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store and get a shirt like this one, and we will see you here next time.